Sup guys, so today we are going to talk about logical membership and identity operators in Python. So logical operators are those that you use to combine multiple operations. You want to do multiple checks or multiple comparisons at one go, then you have to use logical operators. Also, if you want to check for the negation of something, of some operator or something like that, again we'll be using logical operators. Now let us look into the execution of them. Now let us say a is equal to 5, b is equal to 10, and c is equal to 15. Now I want to check if b is greater than a and b is less than c. Okay, only then I want a true. So I want to check b is greater than a, right? B is greater than a, and here the keyword is and b is less than c. Now this should return me, since the first statement is true, like b is greater than a and b is less than c, this will return us true. Okay, now I have d equal to 0. Okay, now I want to check if c is greater than b or c is less than d. Alright, so my first condition checks 15 is greater than 10. It is true, right? Since I have an or condition here, if even if either of the conditions on the either side of or become true, it will return a true, which means now if I say if I press enter, this will return me a true because c is greater than b. So it, irrespective of if c is less than d or not, it will return me a true. Now the same condition I want to check with and, which means only if c is greater than b and c is less than d, only if both the conditions are true, it has to return me a true. So now since c is not greater than d, this will return me a false. Alright, so now okay, understand the and or conditions. Now not, see, not is used just for a negation. Like if a particular comparison returns true, when you place not in front of it, it will return false. If a condition returns false, when you place not in front of it, it will return true. For example, not c less than d. C is 15 and d is 0, which means c is not less than d, which means this condition alone returns false. Now I am adding not to this. So not false, what will it be? It should be true. Okay, so these are the logical operators in Python. Now we have something called as membership operator. Operators are used to check for the presence of a variable in a bunch of a value in a bunch of values. Okay, just like let us take a string now. What we'll say? We'll say a statement is equal to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was an exemplary he has changed course of and is row. Okay, so let us say this is a string that we have. Now I want to check if the name Kalam is there in this statement or not. So now I'll say Kalam, remember the case as well, in statement. Since Kalam is already there in the statement, in the given statement, it will return true. Okay, now I will say Ramindranath Tagore in statement. Since this name Ramindranath Tagore is not there in the statement, it will return false. This is the use of a membership operator. Also, it has multiple uses. We'll get into that, even better use cases rather. We'll get into that when the time is appropriate. All right. So next, just like in, you have a not in, just you want to negate the condition. For example, here I will say not Ravindranath Tagore in statement, which means Ravindranath Tagore, if Ravindranath Tagore is not there in the statement, then return me true. Simple as that. For example, one more example here, if I say not Kalam in statement, since Kalam is there in statement, it will return true, and since it is, we want not true, it will return false. You got it? Now we will look into identity operators. Now remember the way variables are stored in Python? Right. Yesterday I said A is equal to Gautam, B is equal to Gautam. Now, behind the scenes, what is happening? In the value stack, Gautam value is created, and both A and B are pointing to the same value, aren't they? Right. So now, we can logically say that A is referring to the same value that B is referring to, or even vice versa, right? Which is why not only A is equal to B returns true, but also A is B returns. Now if I say B is equal to Gautam, and now I say A is B, this will return false. Alright? Yes, this is about identity operators in Python. And now we have something called as Truthy and Falsy values. See, any condition, any comparison that you are writing, we have seen that it is getting evaluated to either true or false, a Boolean value, right? So now there are certain ways of establishing that something is true or something is false. For example, now let us say raining is equal to true. Now in this situation, how would you think it would be if I compare raining is equal to true, and what would this return? True itself, right? So in that situation, can't I use raining directly? Right. So the exact application or better understanding of truthy and falsy values will come when we get into conditional operators. Sorry, conditional statements, right? So until then, just understand that any value, all right, any value that is not a falsy value is a truthy value. Okay, so what are falsy values? 0, none, and false. These are the falsy values. Okay, 0, none, and false. These are the falsy values in Python. Anything but these are truthy values. When we get to conditional statements, we'll be understanding this truthy and falsy values even better. All right. So until then, just understand the logical membership and identity operators and what are truthy and what are falsy values. How are they used? We'll look into that in the next session. Until then, take care. Thank you.